The one. This is the one here.
A lot of people aren't going to be fond of me for saying this shit, but I just don't give a fuck. I just do want to point out that it is really, really, it's awesome that President Trump is showing awareness now towards Palestine and Gaza. I just want to put that out there. I know I have a lot of Jewish people that follow me and stuff like that. Guys, listen, bro. At the end of the day, there's innocent lives dying, and I don't fuck with that shit. So I'm glad that finally, bro, Trump, thank you, bro. Because fuck, bro, we gotta, you know what I mean, chat? Both, we deserve world peace is the goal here. Fuck whoever's right, whoever's wrong. It's world peace. We need to stop innocent lives. So thank you, President Trump, for doing that. Really, really do. That was awesome, bro. That was awesome. You guys know how I feel about that, for real.
Yo! Yeah. Even the dumbest guy you know is like, on God, bro, this shit is, you know, no cap. Baby murder is not great. Okay? Oh, I mean, anyway, let's continue. Now that I think about it, it's kind of fucked up how Aiden wasn't invited to the new Kanye session / Cuckversations. Yeah, because he's Jewish. And Kanye West is a fucking rabid anti-Semite. And that hasn't stopped Aiden from trying to collaborate with rabid anti-Semites. He's collaborated with everyone around Kanye West. But for Kanye, he's like, no, he doesn't want, I don't think he wants to fuck with Aiden Ross because he's like, he just like genuinely despises Jewish people. Kanye does. Anyway, let's continue.
23 days, we have seen that there has been no aid that has entered Gaza. So while you can deflect and say that this is Hamas's responsibility, at the end of the day, you are the governing power in Gaza. You have a responsibility to ensure that there is no famine and starvation in Gaza, which is what the world, including your allies and partners, are now accusing you of. And it's gone beyond accusation. They are saying that they are seeing it in real time take place.
So the only starvation in Gaza is the starvation of the hostages. We have heard the testimony of Idan Alexander, who came out 2 days ago, about the way he was treated in a cage, chained by his feet and hands, starving to death. So the only starvation is of the hostages. And it's very simple. You know, you can go on and blame Israel for everything. But you have to make it very simple. As long as we have hostages in Gaza, we will not stop. We will bring them back home. They were abducted from Israel, and they will come back to Israel.
Ambassador Danon, I just want to show this COGAT graph from the last few months.
You were really right about the Overton window shifting on Palestine. Previously, we would have never seen this level of pressuring of Israeli officials. Yeah, it is truly remarkable. I mean, it took 17 or what, I guess it's 19 months now. I don't even fucking know how long it's been. Math is not my strong suit any longer. But after a year and a half of unlimited, unrestricted baby murder in fucking broad daylight, in real time, a live streamed child holocaust, there are finally members of the Western press that are going, okay, well, you keep lying to us. Like, we have to actually do our job here. So yes, the Overton window is shifting. And one other thing that I have to mention here is this. We look at polls that come out about the unpopularity of Israel quite frequently, right? We look at the unpopularity of Israel on polls in the United States of America, like the Pew Center, that showed that Israel's popularity or Israel's unfavorability went from being like 20% unfavorable, 80% favorable to 53% unfavorable in a matter of 2 years. In a matter of, if a Palestinian, he feels bad for his people. No, this is not what I'm thinking of. No, this is not, no, he recently said it. He said it recently. Yeah, here, this is, please don't ban me, but Hamas is a terrorist group, right? Yes, Hamas is designated as a terrorist group. Remember yesterday when I was talking to Jeremy Scahill about the first application of the vague definition of terrorism? As I told you, the first ever group that was branded a terrorism group was literally the Palestinian Liberation Front, the Palestinian Liberation Groups. That was the first ever application in a legal document in Congress that utilized the term terrorism. Isn't that crazy? Yeah. Do you think if the founding fathers had pipe bombs and rockets, they wouldn't use them? Kind of weird. No one calls them terrorists. I mean, they were terrorists. The founding fathers were terrorists against the British monarchy. The great Reverend John Brown was a terrorist against slavers, an incredibly important person in the abolitionist movement. He was a fucking terrorist. It does not matter. Terrorism is a designation used by state actors against non-state actors, oftentimes that are engaging in emancipatory movements. There are appropriate applications of said term, but it's a political one. It's not one that is noteworthy. And the entire reason for this application is so that you can't even have a fucking discussion about why people are doing the things that they're doing. That's it. It's a thought termination cycle. That's all this is. It's so that, any sort of discussion that tries to offer nuance to why certain militancies are formed and the ways that they operate, even if you don't agree with their fucking methods, you can't have this conversation at all. It's impossible to have this conversation. People will fucking lose their minds over it. They're like, no, we need to punish you immediately. It is in many ways no different than the appetite that this administration has in terms of punishing any kind of dissent against Israel at the point of immigration enforcement, saying like student activists are fucking attacking America's interests in the region. Like, we have to deport them. It's the same shit. It's just a different version of that same exact ridiculous demand for enforcement over speech. Since you mentioned John Brown, I swear to God, I am in the New York Times wearing your John Brown merch. Wait, you are? Oh, wait, is that you in the back? Dude, this is like the SpongeBob meme. That's so funny. That is so funny, Bingle Boo. Look, he's like, I'm right there. You see me in the New York Times? And he's like here tiny. Wait, are there more photos? Maybe there's more photos. Hold on. He's like, I'm right there. Look at me. No, it literally is. That's so funny. Oh, hell yeah, chatter. From one forest to another, a homeless sweep changes life. Dozens of people forced to leave the Deschutes National Forest in Oregon, set up camp in nearby wooded areas. Look, there it is. Can you see me? If I squint hard enough, I can see you. Good job. Okay. Anyway, let's get to, now that I gave you all these complicated definitions and everything else, what is this? A phenomenon that happens every 40 years or so? Yeah, I mean, Operation Cyclone. Guys, certainly this situation is not going to inevitably explode in America's face in a way that America will certainly benefit from. At least the military industrial complex will certainly benefit from. Come on. That would be freaking crazy, right? That would be wild. Anyway, let's get to the news. All right. Let's get to the news. I have this feeling that I have this feeling that my good friend Noah Culwin is technically a part of the military industrial complex in the way that he benefits so much from America's ridiculous destabilization efforts, considering that is every time America does something, that's like, well, there you go. Another fucking season of blowback, Like it's like Raytheon and then fucking Noah Culwin and Brendan, all right? Who's to say who benefits the most? Yeah, my man's got permanent fucking job security like he's a Raytheon executive because America's never going to stop doing this shit.
Yes, Danny Danon, Israel's ambassador to the United Nations. Ambassador Danon, thank you very much for joining us here on the program. I just want to begin by playing you these words from the UN's humanitarian chief, Tom Fletcher. Let's just have a listen.
We have briefed this council in great detail on the extensive civilian harm that we witness daily. Death, injury, destruction, hunger, disease, torture, other cruel, inhuman, or degrading treatment, repeated displacement on a large scale. We have described the deliberate obstruction of aid operations and the systematic dismantling of Palestinian life and that which sustains it in Gaza. This degradation of international law is corrosive and infectious. It is undermining decades of progress on rules to protect civilians from inhumanity and the violent and lawless among us who act with impunity.
That was Tom Fletcher. And Ambassador Danon, he goes on to say, stop the 21st century atrocity in Gaza. Will you act now decisively to prevent genocide in Gaza and to ensure respect for international humanitarian law? I just want to get your reaction to what Tom Fletcher was saying.
Yalda, I was there yesterday at the Security Council and I heard Mr. Fletcher and I told him very directly, we are in this war because of Hamas, period. If you want to blame somebody, blame Hamas for all the suffering both in Israel and in Gaza. This war will not end and while we have hostages in Gaza. We are not going to leave behind 58 hostages and move on.
We are going to kill them, all of them, one by one. Have you heard of the Hannibal Directive? We are going to kill them to make sure that they are no longer a hurdle on... They are no longer playing a hurdle role on our endless death and destruction campaign against Hamas. You are being very anti-Semitic.
The world will understand that. Maybe we can move forward for something else. But expecting Israel to decide that that's it, we forget about the hostages, it's just not going to happen. We will continue this war until Hamas will be defeated.
Ambassador Danon, Ambassador Danon, I'm not talking about Hamas.
Look. Listen to me, okay? A lot of people are not very intelligent, or at least are ill-informed on this matter, and it's partially because mainstream media has done a horrible job by design on covering this issue. But after 17 months of genocide and the fucking Benjamin Netanyahu administration openly saying hostages are not a high priority for us, what we care about is fucking genocide. What we care about is ethnic displacement of all the Palestinians and making their lives miserable enough that they have to emigrate, okay? Which you know what that means. This is a permanent ethnic displacement. After 19 months of this fucking bullshit, even the dumbest guy you know is like, yeah, I don't think you care about hostages, man. Every step of the way, they called me a fucking anti-Semite for being like, I don't think Israel cares about the hostages, guys. They killed them, a lot, actually. If you cared about the hostages, I don't think you'd be bombing the fucking hostages. You know? And it's becoming undeniable. I mean, it was undeniable if you knew enough about Israel's behavior, if you knew enough about the way Israel engages with the Palestinian population. But even the dumbest guy you know, who is not very well read on the matter, is seeing what the fuck is up here, you know?
Terrorist organization. I am talking about you, the state of Israel, as a responsible actor. For the last 19 months, the world has been watching the way that you have prosecuted this conflict, the way that aid has been prevented from reaching the most needy. In the last 2 months,
Except Aiden Ross, dude, that's not even true. Even Aiden Ross. Didn't Aiden Ross recently say, no, Aiden Ross is who I'm thinking of when I say even the dumbest guy you know is like, yeah, this is kind of fucked up. Aiden Ross, by every metric, is perhaps the dumbest guy. Mathematically the dumbest guy you can arrive at, right? And even Aiden recently, I think, came out, because I sometimes see his clip accounts on my fucking timeline. Even he came out and was like, yeah, you know, on God, I just gotta say, you know, we gotta stop all the death in Palestine against Palestinians. Like dudes with fucking negative IQ are just like, yeah, the baby murder probably should stop. Like, I think it's really messed up. No shot he did that. Someone find it. Someone find the fucking clip. Is that because Kanye said it? No, Aiden. I don't really fucking want to dive into this. My sister's currently on birthright, and I was hoping it would change her mind on Israel, especially after she debriefs with me after. But now that hope is fucking gone because the Houthis shot a missile at Israel and rushed her and her group into a bomb shelter and made them scared as fuck is so over. Dude, you should have tried to stop her from going on birthright, honestly. But, you know, you can change her mind. It's not. If she's young, she's not like as heavily indoctrinated. Aiden Ross speaks about Palestine and Israel war, mentioning that he has a friend who's